A sleep-deprived ghost falls into your arms, Street Edition. Written by Rosalie. Chapter 2. Strange New Roommate. Summary. Why did Tim let a stranger into his apartment, you ask? The teen reminded him of himself, with just how sleep-deprived he was. The half an hour of sleep that Danny had gotten seemed to not have been enough. On the way to Tim's apartment, he stumbled multiple times, and Tim needed to make sure he didn't walk into a wall. "Here we are," Tim said, as he guided the teen inside. "Thank you so much, man. I need more sleep to think clearly," Danny said as he basically dropped onto his living room couch. "I will be at work if you wake up and I'm not there," Tim explained. "'Kay," was the only response before Danny was out cold. After he came home to his apartment, sighing, the last board meeting was a pain in the ass. He had almost completely forgotten the teen still sleeping on his couch. If it wasn't for said teen to fall off the couch, still fast asleep, he literally jumped in surprise and questioned how Danny could sleep so utterly silent. Tim could have sworn he didn't even hear him breathing. Taking a deep breath, he made his way to the kitchen to warm up a meal that Alfred forced him to take home from the last family dinner. While waiting, he decided to put Danny back on his couch, which caused Danny to mumble, "5 more minutes, Jazz." The teen also felt like he was freezing, so Tim got him one of his spare blankets. Eating his food, he decided to look up Amity Park, only to find it was abandoned with claims that it was radioactive, so it was banned from traveling or living there. He narrows his eyes at the still sleeping Danny. Why would someone claim to be from an abandoned town? As Tim stared, he noticed Danny's chest didn't rise and fall. Putting his tablet on his coffee table, he went to check the teen's pulse. There was none. His mind started racing. How was he dead? Danny just mumbled like an hour ago. Tim held his hand in front of Danny's mouth to check his breathing. Once. He breathed only once. Shaking Danny awake made him let out a breath of relief. Danny blinked a couple of times before he realizes his surroundings. "Who are you?" he asked, still too much asleep to fully realize his situation. "I'm Tim, the guy who let you stay in his apartment," he frantically explained, while checking Danny's pulse again. Still nothing. "Oh, did something happen?" Danny questioned, rubbing the sleep out of his eyes. Tim just stared at him for a moment, calculating how he should respond. "How is your heart not beating?" He got straight to the chase. Danny froze. "What?" "You don't have a pulse," Tim explained. "What do you mean? I have a pulse. Look, check." Danny sounded offended. After checking once more, there was indeed a pulse. Then Tim hallucinated. "How long was I asleep for?" the teen questioned. "Almost 7 whole hours," Tim responded automatically, while getting more suspicious of Danny. "Wow, I haven't slept that long for what, 2 years?" Danny sounded awestruck. "How many hours do you usually get to sleep?" Tim was curious. Could he have beat him in his fight against sleep? From 10 minutes to I guess an hour. I guess. The teen had a thoughtful expression. "Why exactly do you only get 1 hour sleep?" he asked. Tim also felt giddy inside of someone else who despised sleep. Bullies? Danny sounded extremely unsure. "Hey, do you got some food? I'm kind of starving." "Yeah, I can warm you up some of the pork," he commented. But he also just realizes how strange it was that Danny trusted him so much. Like you shouldn't be this trustworthy in Gotham. Is your bullies the reason you ended up in Gotham? Tim questions. I mean, kinda. This time they made an alliance with the Fruit Loop. The teen contemplated what happened. The Fruit Loop? Tim snorted, questioningly. Yeah, I think they made this new weapon, but something went wrong. Then he frowned and wished he listened more to his parents' new invention. But he was too occupied with protecting the town since more strong ghosts appeared. They bully you with weapons. Tim was skeptical. Not all of them. Then he shrugged, and a what you can do motion and started eating. This was extremely concerning to hear. How can he be so nonchalant about it? So you are planning to get back to Amity Park? He asked. Oh yeah, Danny nodded eagerly. Tim pinched his nose and sighed in expiration. And how do you expect to get there when there's a ban on traveling there? What? Tim almost spit his food out. How do you not know? It was banned since 14 years ago. The teen stared wide-eyed at his food for a long moment. Tim was very tempted to just snap a finger in front of him. Then he leaned back and groaned, then looked back at Tim. Do you have a map or something? Yeah, let me get it. Tim replied. After finishing his food, then he looked over the map and cursed, dragging his hand down his face. He let out a silent shriek. Bad news. I might be longer here than I hoped, Danny finally stated.